Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the second strategy session in our series. Our first session was on nurses, and this session today will be on first responders and how brands are supporting first responders throughout the year and especially right now. As per usual, there is a Q&A box, and we have reserved time at the end of the session to talk through any questions that you have, so please feel free to use that box. And then also we will be sending the recording along with the slides following the session, so you can look forward to that. On the agenda today, we're going to talk about the total addressable market, the profile and psychographics of first responders. We're also going to talk through some examples of brands that are reaching first responders with a personalized offer, and then really dive into best practices and helpful tips that are available to you to reach first responders. And with that, our speakers today, on camera, we have Erica Tanzi. She's our Director of Product Marketing here at ShareID. Angela Modulewski is our Senior Marketing Strategist, and she is our guru and knows a lot about all of the best practices for reaching those first responders. And then we're excited to have Nick Bruckner join us. He's the Executive VP over at Lexipol. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Erica.
Great. Thanks, Colette, and thanks everyone for joining. So today we're going to talk about first responders, who they are, their attitudes, what they're looking for from brands right now, and in particular, personalized offers given the current environment that we're all living in. Next slide. So who are first responders? We define first responders as police officers, firefighters, and EMS paramedics. So while all distinct professions, they're really united and connected by the career choice they've made to really help others and help people in their community. And that becomes a really strong component of their identity. We have 2.3 million first responders in the US, roughly 1 million police officers and firefighters each, and about 250,000 EMS and paramedics. Police officers typically earn between $60,000 and $70,000 a year. They can make more as they progress throughout their career and take on different leadership positions. Medium age is around 40, and predominantly male at 88%. Fire and EMS, pretty similar. Career firefighters earn around the same as police officers, and again, that can grow as they grow in their career. However, interestingly, 65% of firefighters are volunteers. So again, that really speaks to their strong desire to help other people and be helpful in their community in that way. EMS workers earn a little bit less, around $45,000 a year. Again, most are male at 95%, fairly predominantly male. And a really unique aspect of the career for career firefighters is that their work schedule. They typically work 24 hours on with 48 hours off. Okay, next slide. So now I wanted to share some data from a recent survey that we conducted. A couple weeks ago, we conducted a survey where we asked 6 different consumer groups, or consumer tribes as we call them, sort of how they're coping with the pandemic, how their shopping preferences have changed, and what they're looking for from brands right now. And overwhelmingly, the survey data showed us that consumers are really looking for brands to do good and care for people. So when we asked, we asked the question, how can brands show they care? Over 2/3 said, they really want brands to donate to programs that support critical workers, whether through donations or providing, critical medical supplies. That was really important. They also said that providing discounts is another way that brands can show that they care and they can be understanding to what consumers are going through. So you compare that to only 16% said they would find an email from a CEO to show that they care. The data really seems to be saying that consumers are looking for things that are tangible, that they can see, they can feel, that has a real impact on their lives. Next slide, please. We also learned from the survey that personalized offers just don't help the consumers that are receiving them make them feel cared for. It can actually change their relationship with the brand and create a really positive halo effect for that brand. So when we asked, across all of our consumer tribes, how this, personalized offer might impact your brand relationship, over 89% or 89%, almost 90% said it would have a really positive impact. So then I pulled the data and said, how did first responders respond? It was even higher, it was above 90%. And then we break it down into what that impact is. 41% said they would try a new brand. 52% they would shop with the brand more often. And 66% they would promote that brand to family and friends as like, hey, check this out. I really like what this brand is doing. I think you should get to know them as well. So that was some interesting information, just again about the halo impact that for personalized offers can have. We also dug on the next slide into a little bit more in how first responders are feeling right now and how they would react to a personalized offer if they were given one. So the data showed us that 54% are feeling anxious and 45% are feeling overwhelmed. And in chatting with Nick before the webinar, he mentioned that they've done some work on this as well and found that a lot of that feeling of anxiousness and being overwhelmed, it's not only just doing their day jobs and caring for people, but it's also just this added concern of, are they going to catch the virus? Are they going to bring that home to their family and loved ones? So it's really, showing that the heavy burden that a lot of first responders are feeling right now. And the data shows that with only 22% feeling confident. When asked if they would like a personalized offer or a discount, 93% said yes. And the top categories they were interested in were takeout and food delivery. That makes sense. If they're extra busy right now, that's a way that they can find some more time in their lives. They're also interested in electronics, gaming, streaming. So that's music and video and apparel. The types of offers were pretty consistent across all the consumer groups, with free shipping and a larger kind of periodic discount being favored over other types of discounts. They want to learn about personalized offers through the typical channels, and Angela is going to go into more detail about that, but email, text, and social were the top. And when they receive a personalized offer, it makes them feel thankful, appreciated, and valued. I think some of those feelings are what's driving their desire to share an offer. So if they have an offer, they would likely share it with other first responders just to create that awareness. So we asked, it was a question, one last thing, Colette, I wanted to say, we did ask first responders what brands could do. And I thought this was a good quote here on the right in the blue box. It said, offer promotions to first responders and healthcare workers. We're having trouble getting normal supplies as we're still constantly working. So just a little insight into kind of where they are and what might be helpful. Okay, next slide. So I wanted to share a couple examples of how brands are reaching first responders. So we've seen some really exciting offers over the last 1 to 2 weeks hit the market. North Face is right now running a 50% discount to first responders. And they're going to be carrying that offer through the end of the year. It's had a tremendous response. They've received really good feedback, and it's generated a ton of excitement for the brand. Similarly, Vineyard Vines ran a 1-week discount at 50% off for first responders. They've moved that discount back down to 15%, but they've also had really good feedback, and that's generated a lot of excitement in the community. I have a couple other examples. These are some brands that have been reaching out to first responders for a longer period of time. And what I wanted to highlight here is how these programs are bundled with other consumer groups. So Tuft & Needle has a program that's for military and first responders. And Tidal recently added first responders to their student and military offer. So a lot of times we see brands reaching out to multiple consumer tribes and then adding first responders to that. Okay, so that's what I had for today, and Angela's going to share some of the best practices that she's put together.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to go in some more detail about some of the examples that Erica showed you, so I can show you why those promotions are working so well and why they're really resonating with the community. And I pulled in a couple of other examples that I really like. So if we go to the next slide, as Erica mentioned, the offer is very important. You need an offer that feels genuine, that's better than any other offer that you have out there. You don't want to offer a 5 or 10% discount that's also available to the general public. It needs to be something that's really special for this community, for first responders and workers on the front line. So North Face is a great example because it is a 50% discount, which is very generous, and they don't run sales and discounts very often. They're not known as a discount brand. And I do think that having it run throughout the end of the year is something that's really differentiating that offer and making it stand out. Nike is also a great example. Nike usually offers a 10% discount to the military, and they've added first responders to that, and they've increased the discount to 20% in recognition of the current health crisis. It doesn't have to be a discount. Discounts might not make sense for your brand, but you could offer something for free. For example, Headspace is offering a free premium membership. Or as Erica mentioned in our surveys, we found that free shipping is also something that's really appreciated. So that's also a great option. And the other thing I want to point out is just to make sure that you do include all first responders. Fire and police are often top of mind, and sometimes EMS get overlooked, and they're out there on the front lines too. So you want to recognize everybody who's serving their communities right now. So on the next slide, once you've decided what you want your offer to be, you want to think a little bit about the messaging. And so what's unique to first responders is they're not really looking for accolades or for awards. They're really just out there trying to help their communities, and they care a lot about helping people and taking care of people. So you want to use words like heroes, courage, bravery. I'd use those very sparingly. I'd focus more on the community elements. So some examples of messaging might be, thank you for caring for our families and communities, or we appreciate everything you do. Thank you for your service. And I love this Tommy John example, giving back to those who give so much. That's just a really nice, genuine, authentic sentiment. And I think that's something that really resonates. On the next slide. So you have decided your offer, you fine-tuned your messaging, and now you're ready to promote your special offer for first responders. So I think, a lot of times when we think about campaigns and promotions, we think about some of those outside channels. We think about paid advertising, email marketing, working with agencies, and those are all very effective. And Nick is going to tell you a little bit more about some of the options that are available later. But I don't want you to overlook some of the other options that are available and using some of your internal resources. We've seen a lot of brands be really successful right now with social media. PR has been very effective and has spread the word about a lot of different offers. And then, just social media and affiliate programs have been really great. I really love these T-Mobile examples. T-Mobile is an example of a brand that has a very omni-channel, multi-channel type approach. So you can see they have it on their blog. They announce things about first responder offers on the blog. They also did press outreach and a press release. So they were on The Verge, and they got dozens of other mentions for some of their first responder programs. And then in the bottom example, you can see that they're running retargeting ads. That's a recipe site I was on. And because I'm on the T-Mobile site frequently, I got an advertisement for their first responder discount. So they're doing a good mix of paid, organic, internal, external resources. I think they're a really great brand to look at. On the next slide, we'll take a look at partnerships. So as Erica mentioned in our survey results, consumers really do want brands to be supporting different organizations through donations and other types of partnerships. So you want to make sure that you're teaming up with organizations that are well known and well respected. And then now is a good time to share about what you're doing. Put it on your blog, put it on social media. Tuft & Needle was one of the examples that Erica showed earlier. And they have a long history of charitable giving and giving back to communities. One of the programs that they do is that they do donate mattresses to fire departments for the beds at firehouses. And that's always something that's really appreciated, and it's gotten a really nice response. It's kind of fueled that word of mouth marketing. And they've heard from a bunch of firefighters that they love the mattresses so much that they've actually bought them for their families. So, in addition to doing something nice for the community, it did have an upside for Tufted Needle. They also donate to Team Rubicon, which is the example that you'll see right here. That's a military organization. And they've donated $1,000 and $100,000 the next year in mattresses to support disaster relief and Team Rubicon. On the next slide, we have a few social media tips. These are tips for organic and paid social media. There are a bunch of different ways you can build your audience if you haven't marketed to first responders on social media before. So you can use demographics, work and job titles. Those are all good ways to get started. And then some of the jobs don't show up under job titles. So for example, like emergency medical services would be something you would find under interests. So is paramedics. So those are a good way to get started. And then our customers have seen a lot of success by creating lookalike audiences. So once you're finding out who's engaging with your ads, or once you've had, say, 1,000 orders, you can take a look at who is converting, and you can upload that into Facebook specifically, and you can use that to create a lookalike audience, and it will target people who are similar to the people who've been converting. So that's a really nice tool that's been really effective and helped spread the word about a lot of these first responder offers. I wanted to show you Vineyard Vine's offer. Erica mentioned that they ran a week-long campaign that included first responders, and they increased their discount from 15 to 50%. They posted a different message every day on social media for 5 days. They had different images. They thanked different segments and different tribes. And they just got a fantastic response. It was really well received, a lot of very positive comments. And they did see a large spike in traffic and verifications during that time. So that's something that was very successful for them. And I think it really was well received and made an impact with the communities that they're reaching out to. Target is another example of someone who has a history of doing outreach to first responders. So in response to the fires in California last year, Target donated gift cards and supplies to first responders in California, and they did post about that on their social media too. So you can do a combination of organic posts and paid social to really make the most of that channel and get the word out about your special offers. And then on the next slide, I think that affiliate promotions are something that's often overlooked. But it's a great way to reach people, and it's really easy. So if you just add your links for your first responder offers to your links and your banners in your affiliate network, the publishers out there are looking for this type of content right now. They want things to talk about. They want to recognize brands who are doing something special for first responders. And so they're going to go looking for your content, and they're going to post it. And we have seen brands having a lot of success with their affiliate promotions right now. We had one brand who posted in their affiliate network, and within 48 hours, they had done nearly 100,000 verifications, and that was resulting in purchases. So that was something that was super simple, didn't take a lot of effort on their part, and really had a big impact. So those are some of my favorite ways that people can promote their first responder offers and just really help spread the word and kickstart that word of mouth. And now I want to introduce you to Nick at Lexipol. He's going to tell you a little bit about what Lexipol can do for you and what some of those very popular paid channels are.
Thanks, Angela, and thank you for having me. If everybody isn't aware, Lexipol is actually a company that provides a couple of different services to the public safety market. Not only do we write department policies to set policy and procedure for departments in association with their acting chief, but then we also provide them ongoing training so they know how to do their jobs and maintain their certifications within the states that they work in. In addition, we have some of the most popular websites in order to bring current events and news to public safety professionals. And a lot of people know us for Police One, Fire Rescue One, or EMS One, which are our major media sites. So with that, we fully support public safety and the efforts that Sheer ID are bringing forward today about educating different manufacturers and companies on the efforts to market to public safety. And so if there's any questions about the best programs, how different companies have done it successfully, more than willing to handle questions at some point. And in addition to this, and to take from Kelly's lead, we will be offering everybody attending this webinar a special discount, because you should benefit because you're going to be supporting public safety. So with that, go to the next slide, please. Some of the things to think about, I think when you think about advertising to public safety, all the tools are available as they are consumers. They're still homeowners. There are still people buying pants and shirts and shoes and different gear for their jobs. So don't think of them as different per se, but you can, because they want to help other people, and that is their core profession. And so that's why you want to continue to provide them a couple of extra discounts that you don't offer to the normal public. But as far as different ways to support them and communicate your message, there's emails, newsletters, sponsored content. Tell a story. Talk about what your product is going to do, not the features of your product. How is it going to help that public safety professional, either in their job or with their family? And then you need to maintain ongoing messaging. It's not a one-hit wonder. Just because you communicate with them once doesn't mean they're going to remember. They're normal consumers, and you need to remind them of your value proposition. And then there's also online and featured deals, which we have identified at the bottom of, if you can help them do their job better, they will forever be grateful, because that means that they will survive and be able to help more people that they truly appreciate. So with that, I turn it back over. And well, I guess I'm not. So this is we are offering a 25% discount for anybody that wants to advertise through our media properties to public safety. And this is an abnormal discount that we're offering. But if this is your first time into public safety and want to really access that community, we can walk you through it, and you can save some money while doing it.
Great, thank you, Nick. And thank you, Erica and Angela. As we move into our Q&A session, I just wanted to highlight one program that Sheer ID recently launched. And it's our it's a stand up for medical workers, but part of that is first responders program. So what we are offering is, for brands to create a free offer for either nurses, doctors, or first responders. And then you can apply to receive free verification from Sheer ID. So because you're offering a free service or a free product to these consumer tribes, we want to also support that. So the benefit goes to those on the front lines. And we will be selecting, and we're currently undergoing selecting 50 brands. So how to get started? Using the My Sheer ID portal, the self-service portal, you can design a free offer for, again, first responders or even nurses and doctors. This is for the US only. And then Sheer ID will help you create the program to verify eligible first responders or medical professionals. And then your customers can access the offer through your website. We will instantly verify them and instantly verify them for free as part of the process. And then at the end of the day, the people get to enjoy the product or service for free. So if you're wanting to take advantage of this program, you can reach out to your account executive or your customer success manager, or you can also email helpdesk@sheerid.com and we will get you in the queue. So with that, just want to open it up to some Q&A. And while we do that, I'll just leave this slide up. As part of this strategic sessions, these strategy sessions, again, we did nurses first, and today was first responders. Next, we're going to be talking about doctors, and similar setup in terms of the, talking through their behaviors, their profile, as well as talking through best practices on how to reach doctors, talking through some of the brands that are currently reaching doctors, and we will be joined by one of our customers who are currently reaching doctors, so we're excited to have them join us. So with that, it looks like we only have one question, which could be a sign that we answered most everything throughout the webinar, so that's great. But Nick, it looks like it's for you. On that offer, that last slide we showed for you, someone asked, how can I take advantage of that offer?
That would be, Kelly will provide my email and phone number. Just call me directly or email me directly and I'll get you taken care of.
Wonderful. That's great. And so with that, we'll be sending a follow-up email tomorrow with the recording, the webinar recording, as well as the slides, and then also Nick's information and any other additional information that we have on first responders to help you market to them. So with that, just want to thank you for joining us today and for your time. And if you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to email us, again, your account executive, your customer success manager, or helpdesk@shareid.com. So thank you and have a great day or evening wherever you might be.